Michael Eaton here with Two Dudes Review, giving you guys the latest retro review. Now, this time we're going to be talking about Superman the movie from 1978. Now, I saw this last month on a double date with me, my fiance Abby, and my co-host Zach Watson and his fiance Ariel. Now, that was a really fun experience, and I'm sure maybe I'll tell you guys about it at some point down the road, but I wanted to talk about this movie because this is one that I've been wanting to discuss for a little while. Now, everybody knows the origin of Superman, Kal-El coming from Krypton after it's been destroyed by General Zod, makes his life on Earth, gets a job at the Daily Planet, meets Lois Lane, falls in love, all that stuff. But this is the first cinematic showing of Superman that we've all come to love, and one can even make the argument that this actually gave birth to the DC cinematic universe, not the one that started with Man of Steel, but just DC movies in general that later went on to do Batman 1989, which I also love. But I'm going to be honest, this is one of the, I love Christopher Reeve as Superman. He's a great Superman. I love Gene Hackman. He made Lex Luthor what he is today, and Gene Hackman's one of my favorite actors, but this is a pretty dull, boring film for me. But if you like it, if you like it, more power to you. Go ahead, watch it, have a great time, but this just did not much for me. Hey Seth, how you doing, brother? I'm sorry, we missed like more than half of the movie because we were just zoning out, all talking to each other, going to the bathroom, getting food. It's just, not that it's bad. I won't say that. Jesse, what's up? It's not that it's bad. It's just kind of dull and not very memorable, even though it is the first Superman film to ever be shown or made. But I don't know, maybe it's just because we've all become so used to such high action superhero movies like the Avenger films, like Man of Steel and Dark Knight, all these films. It's crazy to go back to a simpler time, back in like 1978 when this came out, and superhero movies were seen as very campy and very kid-oriented and very much not taken seriously during that time. So yeah, so basically, I'm not going to go into the synopsis of this film because it's basically the origin of Kal-El turning into Clark Kent, then becoming Superman, which everybody who hasn't even read a comic book knows this story. But basically, I don't know, I respect what Richard Donner, the director, was trying to do, and to his credit, the opening credits are fantastic, and hearing the John Williams Superman theme, which has become one of my favorite theme songs, along with Indiana Jones and Star Wars. But man, aside from that, I'm sorry, but this is just not my cup of tea. And I talked to Abby, Zach, and Ariel about it, and they all agree. It's just like a blur, like nothing. But if you like it, if you like old classic superhero films that aren't quote unquote serious and very light and fluffy, then this is the movie for you. But in my opinion, I think superhero movies didn't quite start to become really truly popular until Batman 89, which honestly was the better movie that we saw that night. But if you like Superman, if you are a Superman fan, go back and watch this. You will like it. I'm a Superman fan myself. I just think Man of Steel is a little better, even though I'm kind of in the minority on that. But I don't know. Look, the plot's not very engaging. It's all the action has really bad effects, and aside from Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, and a little bit of Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, nobody else really stands out aside from, you know, Brando, but he's only in it for like 5 minutes. It was just not very engaging. I don't think the story was very interesting, but I'm not saying that it's bad. On the contrary, I think it's good for what it is, but I just wouldn't see this again, honestly. I'd rather watch, you know, Man of Steel or funny enough, Superman 2, the sequel that came after the 1978 film. That film is fantastic and a much bigger step up compared to the first one. So definitely check out Superman 2 if you haven't seen it. I know it came out in like 1980, but that's a fantastic film. But overall, guys, I think for the first outing of Superman, it could have been a lot worse. But, you know, it's not the best and it's not the worst either. It's just the middle of the road. Nah, for me. But if you guys want to, I'll contact ZW and have him share his thoughts on this film, because I know that he's a big Superman fan, and plus he always wears the Superman sweatshirt whenever we hang out and talk about business and stuff. But yeah, overall, guys, it's not for me. But if you're a Superman fan and you love classic films, nostalgia, this is gonna be it for you. So thank you guys all so much for tuning in, and be on the lookout for our next upcoming retro review, which will be The Usual Suspects and a film of my choice. So until next time, guys, I'm Michael Eaton of Two Dudes Review. Have a good night.